and kept that player onside.
Yes.
He wasn't in line with the rest.
I honestly,
to me, Zinchenko is one of the reasons why Arsenal came back into this game. Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2. A lot of Arsenal fans, considering how Bayern has been doing lately, and Arsenal, of course, on the other hand, scoring goals, winning games since the turn of the year. A lot of Arsenal fans felt that this is going to be a walk in the park for them. But of course, we know that Champions League is a championship of pedigree. This is where, regardless of form, you must have that pedigree. And not just pedigree, it's also a tournament where personality plays a huge role. Sometimes we have seen teams be flat and look not serious, but because they have maybe one or two individual players with some kind of brilliance and personality, they still turn around for their teams. This is where Arsenal has arrived. Presently, this team, as a team, Arsenal doesn't have an experienced team in Champions League, whereas Bayern, on the other hand, are very, very experienced. So we saw that today. It played out. But Arsenal still has a strong foothold on this fixture. Guys, let's look at Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2. Omezi, on this show, we previewed the game and we kind of made the lineup. On hindsight, having watched the game, seeing how the game panned out, do you think Arteta, I'm not going to call it a mistake, but do you think we would have gone with a different option starting the game?
Yes.
Especially
Remember, we talked about this. We talked about these specific players coming in. Zinchenko, Gaga, Jesus.
Martinelli,
Zinchenko, Jesus, or Kivior, Martinelli.
Yeah.
Kivior, Martinelli in those kind of games for me, I felt like if it was a domestic game where we had to all we had to do was just attack and not worry about the quality of the opponent, Kivior, Martinelli would probably have been a better option, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in hindsight, when you look at it today, there was no real. I'll be the first to admit that Kivior did not do. He didn't do as well as I thought he was going to do in this kind of a game, which in turn didn't give Martinelli the kind of platform he needs to go forward and be dangerous. My problem with Martinelli is once you close those running lines, that's it. He's done. So now Martinelli is out of the game. And then you have Kivior, who has to deal with some of these other guys who have quality, Sane, Gnabry, they have solid quality. So this guy has to start working with that. And he was exposed. As a fullback, as a center back in that position, he was exposed. Now, I admit, when Zinchenko came in, there was a lot more organization in that. Yes.
And
there was a lot more organization going forward. Right now, Zinchenko came in, plugged into those holes and everything.
And made it easy for other guys as well to go a little bit more forward.
Yes. And look at Jesus as well. We talked about it too. We talked about Jesus. Jesus has that. He has that chaos factor, right? He has that chaos factor in the box, and that's how he scored the equalizer today. Martinelli's not going to do that. Martinelli's going to hold up the ball like that. But other than that, I think those were the only two changes that I think.
Yeah, definitely. It was Kivior coming in for Zinchenko, and of course, for Martinelli for Jesus. Ebi, let me touch base with you. I just listened to Arteta talk now. I know Ugun doesn't like this, so I don't want to ask him the question. I'm not blaming, but I started this game with respect for Bayern, which was good. And after like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we grew into the game and took over, got the goal. But I think they kind of became complacent or inexperienced at this level showed, and we gave away those 2 goals. If you look, thinking back now, what could those players, or which player do you think didn't do what they're supposed to do, and what should they have done in those 2 games?
I mean, if we're looking at how the game turned around, it had to be the moment Raya decided to come out of his box. I think he's used to, rushing out and really trying to anticipate and being that first person to help the back line, but they didn't communicate properly. And that was the biggest mistake, because if you really think about that play, if Raya sat back and stayed in his box, Gabriel just plays it back to him, move forward, right? And we wouldn't have capitulated. But because Gabriel had that pressure on him, he played that wayward pass to Kiwior. And I mean, the experience, again, like you said, it showed. I mean, they were deadly. They only had, that was their first shot of the game. I mean, it was disheartening to watch, because you can tell that we really disrespected Bayern in the sense that we underestimated them. We thought, okay, their run of form was terrible. I mean, they just lost to Heidenheim after a 2-0 lead. I think we came into this game saying we got this, and took them far easier than we should have. And I know Ben White is beating himself up over not finishing that goal, because in my opinion, if he scored that, that would have been it. That would have been it. The commentators said it themselves. They said, "What, you see no reaction in the Bayern players after the first goal, no disappointment. It's just, I mean, this is it. I know we're having a bad season. This is just it. What's there to complain about?" And then they get a lifeline. I mean, it was unfortunately, kind of that stereotypical Arsenal style where we fold in games that
and
we
just shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah. So
exactly.
let me touch base. I saw you roll your eyes there, but for me, that first goal, I know I said it. Raya came out fine, but you could see that, like you mentioned, Gabriel was a little bit arrogant, because he waved him off. He waved him, even if he stayed in his post. I'm sure he would have passed the ball. He waved him off and tried to. Unfortunately for Gabriel, his first touch was bad. Yeah. Because I think that ball was spinning. So by the time he touched the ball kind of ran away from him and he panicked. At that point, I expected him to do what Arsenal has been doing, be confident, knock the ball now back to Raya. But he tried to make a difficult pass. Then Kivio, I don't know if he felt he was at home. He forgot that he was on the pitch. He wasn't ready for the pass. The pass wasn't that good, but he was too stiff to help Gabriel out. And the rest was history. Then, of course, it was just chance of mistake. Rice, as well, was too eager to come and close the gap instead of sitting back and, kind of building the structure that is required to wage that attack. I don't know, Choma, what do you think? Is there any, if you had to pick one or two big players, who would you say let Bayern back into this game?
Well, seeing that I risked my life to go and watch this game, I think I saw a lot. Let's say it was more of a head game for the Arsenal players that I felt were a bit jittery at the back. Yeah, when we're talking about the formation, the Martinelli and Kivio, how do we even expect Kivio to become the monster we want him to be when we don't put him in the midst of beasts to play footy? So I feel like if he constantly builds up his confidence, he might become a better player. So I didn't think that him starting was such, a disheartening thing. I just felt that he could have just, gotten out of his head. Because knowing our history with Bayern, I think he played a role towards what I saw today. So the goal was so sad, because I just, finished rejoicing and saying, yeah, we got this game. But I wasn't really disappointed. I just felt that we could have gotten out of our head more to play this game. We would have won, actually. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Nimi, do you have anything to touch before we go to the next question on the goals that Arsenal considered? Do you think, what do you think they could have done differently to prevent getting Bayern back into the game?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you friendly.
Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, so first of all, it was a very good, entertaining game. To be honest with you, as Chioma said, I thought the history and the nerves were going to get to those Arsenal players. But to my surprise, they stood tall. They took the game to Bayern. As the other person stated I'm forgetting your name, sorry. But I think Arsenal disrespected Bayern a little bit more. They felt the fact that Bayern, the league being 13 points off Leverkusen, and the form that Bayern was, not knowing there was a Champions League night. I think the Champions League night is different. When ball bounce, league form is different from Champions League form. Remember when Chelsea won the Champions League in 2012? We were barely sixth, struggling with what do you call him, Di Matteo, but we still went ahead in 2012 and we won the Champions League, even finishing below Newcastle in 15th. So that should tell you that you don't take anything for life for granted.
Very true.
And the fact that, I have to give us now some credit too. I come in here to every single time and I bash through and it's spread bandana and call members. But I got to give them credit. Previously, you guys know this, or you guys should think about this. Previously, Arsenal goes 1-up, the opponents come 1-1, come 2-1, their heads go down. And that 2-1 becomes 4-1 or 5-1. But the fact that those guys, the players were able to believe and come back. And also, when I look at Trossard, I get angry. This is why I get angry. Chelsea had the opportunity to buy that ball from Brighton. And then if you guys were, Mudryk was available, Trossard was available, Trossard wanted to leave. Mudryk was always going to the Emirates taking pictures.
You guys stole. Don't even go there.
And I told my Chelsea comrades, Trossard would be a better fit. And the moment he was coming in, you could see the confidence in that boy. You could see he sits on the bench, he listens, he comes in, and he changes the game. Big ups to Jesus. He wasn't mad, staying on the bench, wasn't selfish. He came on, and he showed his mental. He's a fighter. For the second leg, I think Arteta would be mad not to start Gabriel Jesus. He would be mad not to start Trossard. Because Trossard, although he came in and scored, but he's a better player. The way he plays, he's a better player starting than Martinelli from that left-hand side.
Very good point.
For the second goal, I think Saliba, he was at fault that way that ball went. He could have the anticipation, but that comes later. It's going to be a great.
Nimi, let me ask you this question. You this question. Don't you think? I think honestly, the fault should have been quelled way before they got into the box. Don't you think that?
Give should have just fouled.
Don't you think that would have?
I agree.
Right there, just bring him down.
But you guys are missing something though. The moment the ball goes into that box, you got to, as a center back, as a professional, you got to be really, really careful. You can't be throwing your legs. The moment we know Kivior could have done something, and that's why I said Saliba right now is a good defender. He's in the borderline great, but he's a good defender. Greatness will come when you make plays like that with time. But now you know what's going to happen? He's going to learn.
But Nimi, there's something that I forget. There's something that I forget. Saliba was on full throttle trying to help Arsenal out. But Jorginho made a very important interception on that ball, which increased the momentum with the ball was going and took it away from Saliba's periphery. So at that point, he was struggling because
I understand that, but what I'm trying to tell you, a Maldini, a Baresi, a Vidic, Ferdinand, they will guide that ball out. And as I said, it comes with time. But let's not take anything away from Arsenal.
Definitely. Before we move forward, do you have anything to say about the two goals before we move to the next person? I know you don't like to talk about spilled milk.
Yeah, no. Well, I think I agree with everything that's been said. I take a little exception to some of the analysis from Mimi. Yeah, Mimi sometimes can be a complete armchair pundit. You wonder whether the guy actually plays the game with the way he analyzes some of these
things. He's a Chelsea fan. He's a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, it's like typical of Chelsea fans. That Jesus came in and played well, and Trossard scored goals doesn't mean they have to start the next game. Yeah. Nimi, please, you need to go back to school, right? You need to go back to school. It doesn't mean if the manager benches them in the next game that there's a reason they came in at that time and they became effective, right? It doesn't mean that if they start the next game 100%. That they'll be equally effective, right? So, but for the analysis of those two goals, I agree. Kivio should have been whoever said Kivio should have been the person to stop that and perhaps earn a yellow card.
He's supposed to have found that guy all the way down there.
All the way, yeah.
Yes. When Leroy Sané is in flow like that, stop him on time. Stop him before he gets anywhere close to the 18-yard box. And I saw the nice attempt that Jorginho actually made to try and get that ball off him.
Yeah, he did. He got the ball.
Yeah. He got the ball, yes. He got the ball, but it wasn't. He didn't put enough pressure on the ball to make it run away from Sané.
Yeah.
And then, so...
Do we think, again, here it's great that we're talking about Jorginho. I love Jorginho. Love him. But I think, honestly, a game like this, where Bayern had so many young talents, especially in that middle, where they were so mobile. I don't know if that was the game for Jorginho today.
I agree.
Before the game, I would have thought that, but seeing the way Bayern played today, I think Jorginho could play in this game. What I actually believe that affected Jorginho today was Declan Rice. This was not one of his best games for us.
Best games, okay.
Especially when it had to do with positioning. Declan Rice was all over the place, and that affected Jorginho. If Declan Rice had sat behind him and let him use his intelligence and stuff, Jorginho did this today. Yes, you're right. He can't get around the pitch too much. So he plays better in a more structured setup. So, and unfortunately, I was going to go ask you guys about Partey. I don't think Partey is anywhere close to start the game for Arsenal. He's
not match fit at all.
It's too right. In fact, he almost cost Arsenal this game today. I don't know what he needs to do to get up to speed. I don't know what he needs to do. It's taking too long. He has played 20 minutes in 3 or 4 games now.
Having said that, likewise Zinchenko. I thought Zinchenko was woeful. And I heard Reggie giving Zinchenko credit. Zinchenko was woeful today, for what I saw. He touched the ball way too many times before releasing it, held onto the ball, and put his teammates under pressure. I saw 2 instances where he could have released the ball earlier. He touched it. Now gave it to Jorginho when 2 players were advancing on him and made him lose possession on that ball. That goal that Coman would have scored, the initial header was because Zinchenko was straying and kept that player onside. Yes. He wasn't in line with the rest of the defense.
To me, Zinchenko is one of the reasons why Arsenal came back into this game, because he took the risk. It's easy to look at him as a left back, but it's constant pressure in that midfield going forward and trying to get Arsenal, and his position also helped Odegaard to push people forward and give Arsenal.
I wouldn't take it away from him. Yeah, I wouldn't take it away. I give him credit for that. But I think that the guy, more and more, he's starting to, for all the great things he does moving forward, seems to be way too careless in defense.
Yeah.
And that's why
I think that's why he plays, because when he plays, what Arsenal does is to make you not have chance behind them, because he comes to the midfield. Let's think about this. This guy finds himself in the heart of the midfield. He's not a machine now. How is he going to play in that midfield and still be the left back to stop? So somebody has to cover that space, because he can't be
Amy wants to say something.
Yeah, Chima, go ahead.
Amy wants to say something.
No, it's Amy. As Reggie says, sometimes I wonder if it's actually a referee and actually follows the game. To say Zinchenko gave you an outlet. He always gives you an outlet. That is something Kiwa wasn't doing. That extra man in midfield. That is something comfortable. Remember, Zinchenko in Ukraine plays as a defensive
As a 10.
center mid, as a 10. So what he gives you is in the second half, he changed the dynamics of the game. I don't see what. Do you know what it means to play midfield when you're attacking and when you push or go back to the left? I don't understand when Ugu sits down.
He can't fly over there.
Yeah, he didn't see what. Instead of, you got to look at who was playing from the left wing to recover, because check out all the if you watch the game, all the balls he was making, those intervals, all those passes on the left wing, all those true passes. It wasn't actually Kimmich. Kimmich had to feel that Deco coming in. So with Ugu sitting there, Kiwo wasn't giving you that outlet. He wasn't. Yeah, Kiwo is better defensively. But offensively, what does Kiwo bring?
But not today. Today, even defensively, he didn't do nothing today defensively.
I mean today's game. Today's game. Watch the game. That extra man.
No, I mean give you.
Imbalance. Zinchenko. So let's go back. I think let's go back to what Ugu said about Martin. About Gabriel Jesus and Trossard. To me personally, it doesn't mean because it didn't start. I watched the game. I watched what Trossard offers. Trossard is a quick thinker kind of a player, quick. And looking at the way Havertz, he's little too. When he goes to the ball, he's little. He doesn't make mistake. That one chance, that's it. Martinelli, I've said it on this podcast before, Martinelli tends to hold the ball too much.
Yeah, but Mimi, I disagree with you on that one. What's his name? Trossard, when he starts game for Arsenal, he doesn't play as well. I prefer him.
Yeah, I agree.
I've watched so many Arsenal games. I'm telling you now, you don't stop Trossard.
He's more of an impact player, and
I think it's time for us to not talk about Arteta. Let's talk about his performance in this game. The calls that he made to start the game, I don't have any blame against Arteta. I think he did what probably there's no much people that are related to Arsenal that would have gone with a different lineup. But I give him credit for realizing that Kivio was not going to let Arsenal win or not lose this game if he stays on that pitch. Quick, he took him off. The substitutions of Jesus and Trossard, of course, brought his stuff. And I listened to him after the game. He said something. You guys have claimed that Arsenal was successful to Bayern. I don't think so. I think Bayern was there for the taking. In the first 5 minutes, Arsenal sat back. But once they discovered that Bayern didn't have nothing to offer, and they said, okay, we can get at these guys. And they were there, apart from individual mistakes. We have said it many times on this podcast that Arteta doesn't repeat his mistakes. He doesn't, most times. So, do you trust him to win in Germany?
I trust him to win in Germany. I trust this team to win in Germany. And the approach they would take would be one that's conservative initially, because Bayern are going to swarm on them with the crowd behind them once the game starts. It's a matter of just containing them, figuring out how they want to play, and then eating with our own brand of football. So the team just doesn't need to panic under the situation. And even if they go down, the main thing is to keep your head level, focus on your team plan. Initially, in previous years, we had the away goals rule. The away goals rule is not there anymore.
Is that just again?
It's 90 minutes football. So even if you win by 0.5, you've won. Right? So it's a clean slate. So they just go there, shut everything out, concentrate, and stay focused. And I believe that we have a chance to win.
Okay, now
I agree.
Go ahead, Ebenezer.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I don't regret the decisions that were made for the lineup, and like you said, Arteta is a coach that once he makes a mistake per se, he learns. And I think the biggest mistake today was underestimating Bayern. I truly do think that. I think all the players kind of got in this headspace of, hey, we've gone 10 games without conceding a goal or something. I think I'm getting that stat wrong. Or undefeated, sorry. And they've gone 5 clean sheets in a row. They thought their defense was impenetrable. And I think because of this thought process, they did not really put too much into into containing in the midfield and in their defensive area. They kind of put too much on the high press, trying to get Bayern to slip up, which worked, right? It initially worked. but then they got exposed once, and that's all it took.
That was
And
it.
I think they got very disgruntled after that. I don't think it was. I think Kiwior, if he didn't have that kind of mishap with Gabriel, like you said, he could have stepped up. He wasn't really there with his mind when that mistake happened. I think that just caused him to further slip down. Once you get one thing happening, what type of mentality do you have to come back up and instantly think the same? And I think Kiwior, out of everyone in the lineup, he doesn't have that same experience per se. He's very fresh into the starting 11. So I would honestly, I know Zinchenko, again, I agree with Osborne. I said Osborne. In the sense that Zinchenko kind of slipped up. Like, he had a couple passes that just went wayward. He was doing too much. In my honest opinion, I want to say give Kiwior a second chance, but I think the best of both worlds is Tomiyasu. I think maybe putting him in. Amanda, you said this last time. I apologize, my brother.
I did. I said it. I said it. For me, I picked Tomiyasu. It was me that said it. I told you guys.
You said, yeah.
Yeah, so Tomiyasu, I think Tomiyasu really will be a good call. Shema, what do you think?
I mean, Tommy, yeah, perfect, but we need though, and he's not the kind of player you go out there, and find someone to replace him in the summer, stuff like that. So we have to take it calmly with him. At least we know, because I can tell you that just like KDB, mileage is dropping. Because if you keep breaking, mileage drops, and we don't have a double for Tommy. So it's okay to, do Kiwior, Zinchenko. And the thing about Zini is, yeah, he has a way of putting too much pressure on the team. But why do I love him? When he's there mental.